Hey YouTube, I'm here at my 20-gallon shrimp tank, and we're looking at some of the food samples that I got at Aquatic Experience, and these shrimp are just going crazy for this sea sky. Now, I'm not sure, I can't tell you anything about the product because it just isn't listed. There's no ingredients listed on it. There's nothing. And the guys that gave it to me said that it's imported from Taiwan and that there's just they weren't given ingredients or anything either. But these shrimp are loving it. As you can tell, I've got a real mixed bag of different kinds of shrimp in here. The cherries are the preponderance of the population, but they are crossbreeding and mixing quite a bit. And I get both browns and there's a kind of an interesting, either a really dark blue or a black coming into view there. I'm just getting a lot of mixes out of this, but they really they look like algae wafers to me, but they're flat and oblong, rectangular, I guess would be a better. And I dropped four of the pieces in this tank this morning, and I've got a new light on this tank. My old fluorescent went bad, so my wife picked up a LED light for me when she went to the fish store last, and I'm getting a lot better colors out of them. I'm getting a lot cleaner view of them. But I also dropped from Disco Bee, I got some snowflake pellets, and they were crowding the algae wafers so bad I went ahead and stuck some of the snowflake pellets from Disco Bee in there too. And snowflake are soybean, some say it's soybean shells, some say it's soybean, some say it's both. I'm not sure exactly what the mix is, but they are really enjoying this. Now, at Aquatic Experience, I entered the raffles, and I finally won one, and it was an aquaponics bag. I saw that it had a t-shirt in it, but obviously they are a saltwater company. They do stuff salt, and the bag had some natural Nutramar nori in it, Pyropia tenera, all natural roasted green seaweed, perfect for feeding marine herbivores and omnivores such as tangs, butterflies, angelfish, enticing, nutritious, and easy to feed. And I put some of this, it comes in sheets like nori, like you would get on a sushi wrap, and it's not quite as dark and it's not quite as solid in color. And I put some of that in there yesterday and they devoured it. I stopped and talked to one of the aquaponics guys, and they said that it would be fine to feed it to my shrimp. I also got a invertebrate powder in the same bag that is meant for corals, and I put a little bit of that in there yesterday as well. And all these babies, I don't know if you can see them or not, but there's a ton of babies on the glass. hard to get them focused in. But they are doing really well, and I added some of that invertebrate powder in, saltwater tank invertebrate powder, and it works really well. Let's see, I can probably get the name of this stuff. Might be kind of helpful. It's from Benepets, www.benepetsfoods.com. Benepets Bene Reef. So it's made to feed corals and filter feeders in a salt tank, but the baby shrimp seemed to love it. When it got close to them, they were gobbling it up. So all in all, I did pretty well with my package. I got a t-shirt as well. Let's see. See if I can let that get into focus. I'm not sure how focused that'll be, but you can see the shirt. And that was my raffle winnings. So all in all, I'm not unhappy with what I got. Let's see, I can pan around this tank a little bit for you. There's my one Anubis that has survived. And so far my plants, my mosses and my subwasser tangs have done really well. There's a marmo ball in the corner. It's a big pile of lava rocks with a piece of coral on top of it, which I put in there hoping that it would facilitate calcium leaching into the water and make it a lot harder, or keep it hard. But you can see them gathered up. That's a magnolia leaf that they're on, and they're gathered up eating one of those pieces of algae wafer and a couple of chunks of snowflake from Disco Bee. So that's kind of the state of my shrimp tank, and I just wanted to talk about feeding these guys this smorgasbord of foods that I got as samples on the at aquatic experience this last week. I really had a great time at the show. I met a lot of super interesting people. I met a lot of people that I knew via, online, on YouTube, on Facebook, through emails, talking to on the phone, and just some really interesting people, and it was so much fun. And one of the side benefits is that you get to talk to a lot of vendors and get free samples from them. And I met some really interesting shrimp people. I'm going to have to do a little research and come up with a little more information on some of these guys that I met. Luca was really interesting to talk to, and there was a Taiwanese guy. I think he was with the Disco Bee at the Disco Bee booth, that had some remarkable shrimp, outrageously expensive, caradinas, but I talked to him a little bit about his breeding process and how much time he had invested in the culling and breeding of some of the lines of shrimp he had. And he basically said that it was about 5 years worth. And for someone to keep shrimp, keep a line of shrimp going for 5 years via culling, via putting the right shrimp together in the tank and getting them to breed, keeping them alive, moving them from tank to tank as the case might be, culling them, watching them, feeding them. For 5 years, then you can really expect there to be some expense. They've gone through a long process. It's basically like a day job. So basically when you buy one of their shrimp that have, been culled out to form a really new, interesting line, you can basically look at 5 years of work involved in getting those shrimp to a point where they would breed true, or breed as true as they can, and, to reach show quality, and to be valuable enough for them to bring to wherever, or ship to wherever, and sell. It's just, you can look at a shrimp that's $20 and, or $1 a piece, or $20 a piece, or $5 a piece, and try to value, one, how much does that shrimp mean to me, and two, understand the amount of work that has gone into that group of shrimp that the seller is selling, so that you begin to recognize that you're dealing with more than just, more than just the expense of one shrimp. You're dealing with 4 or 5 years of experience with, a line of that shrimp. So I think value is relative. It's what the market will bear always. But it also is reflective of how much effort these guys have put into caring for neocaridinias or caridinias or Sulawesi shrimp. It's just not the, one shot off value of one shrimp. Good luck, YouTube.